Go ahead and introduce yourself for me.
Okay, so my name is Leighton. I'm 19 years old. Let's see, I worked for a fishing company, very active my whole life, played sports, and I'm pretty much, that's
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty simple.
So what brought you into the office?
Okay, well, first of all, I was in a tubing accident. And boating tubing accident,
Okay.
yeah. And let's see, do you want me to explain the full story, kind of, or a
Sure.
short story? Okay, short story for a long story. I got thrown from the inner tube, and in the air I was able to turn onto my back, and my life jacket caught the water and snapped my head straight back.
Oh my goodness.
And so right in that moment, I knew a bunch of things went in my neck. I knew nothing was broken right off the bat, because I've broken a lot of bones, did a lot to my body already for being so young. But anyways, I came out of the water, I was holding my neck, and I asked my friends immediately, was I okay? And they said, yeah, you're fine. So I ended up getting back on the tube, and I knew something happened at that moment. I just didn't know the extent of what happened.
Yeah.
And so ended up getting on the tube, went around the lake one more time, and everything locked up. And I said, okay, I'm not okay. So I ended up sitting it out on the boat and just toughed it out for the rest of the day. Next day I couldn't move my body. So my sister, she was the smart one. It ended up being my birthday. So this was the 19th and my birthday was the 20th.
Oh my goodness.
So the 20th I couldn't move, and my sister was the smart one, said, okay, we need to go to the ER. Even if it's nothing, just get you in there, get it checked out. Went to the ER. They diagnosed me with just a severely sprained neck, basically.
Okay.
Is what they did. And they did a CAT scan, MRI. They just gave me prescription meds and put me on my way. And okay, so a couple months went by, didn't see any improvement whatsoever, wasn't feeling better. My body was starting to shut down, getting really fatigued. I could barely move still. And shortly after that, I got referred to a specialist. She has some special title, and through my grandma. And when tried that, I was pretty desperate for any help. I stopped taking the pain meds and everything because they mess with your heads and that's so bad. So I stopped taking all that, and I was pretty desperate for any help at that point. And she got me on the right path. She diagnosed that it was my atlases. I had 4 vertical shears, and she kind of put me on the right path.
Okay.
And then so didn't do any X-rays or MRIs or anything further from that point. So
Okay.
she was going all off of feeling,
Okay.
really. And she put me into alignment pretty well, a lot better than I previously was.
Okay.
So I was regaining a lot of strength and movement and obviously mental happiness.
Yeah.
And got me to a pretty good point. And then it kind of was at this point where it's just kind of plateaued out, where I was okay and I was better, but I wasn't perfect. And then I got referred here through my grandpa, and he's been coming here for 2 years. He had a guy come into his work, and he had some severe accident. I'm not 100% sure what it was, but he said just try it.
Yeah.
He ended up prepaying my first appointment and everything, and said, if you don't like it, just try it. That's all I ask. And so I was at the same point again, desperate to try something a little more. I mean, I was pretty content where I was at. Like, I could function, get through my life, that kind of thing, and be okay.
Yeah.
But it was still there.
Right.
I wasn't perfect. So I ended up trying it, and now I'm here. And
And you've been a patient for how long?
It's been less than a week.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so explain your first visit.
Okay, my first visit.
You come in, you're probably in some amount of pain still.
Yeah, you definitely. I've been this way for 7 months.
Okay.
Now, so it definitely took a toll on it. You kind of just got to the point where it was there.
Yeah.
And you knew it was there, but you were able to function and get through the day. It was just, you were content, you know?
Yeah.
You just had to get through the day. So obviously I was feeling all that kind of thing. If you go, for me in particular, if I was doing more things, more active, than out of my comfort zone, my muscles locked, and a lot of other issues previous to that. But anyway, so I came in here, I was pretty optimistic. I didn't know what I was really getting myself into. I obviously looked it up online, read the reviews, and there was not a bad review about it. So I was pretty optimistic. I was eager for anything. So went and tried it. The whole practice and everything was just phenomenal. It was so hard to wrap my head around and just try to understand, but I didn't care at that point because it was working.
Yeah.
That was the thing. That was like, in my head, I didn't understand it, but I could feel it.
Yeah, so you could feel your body kind of unlocking.
Absolutely. So he said I had 1/2 inch higher on my left hip. It was 1/2 inch higher, so I was carrying 18 pounds on my left side.
Wow.
So, and then what he explained what he was going to do, by just touching slightly underneath my ear, in my own head, I didn't understand how that would be even possible to lower my hip. So I'm thinking in my head, while he has me down on the table and about to do what he does, I was thinking, okay, there's no way this is possible. No way this is possible. But then I could feel it. And my hip was lowering, but I'm thinking in my head, no way, this is not happening right now. But it was, because I could feel it. And so from that point on, and then after seeing the x-rays and everything, it just completely changed my perspective. And it was incredible. And there was no tearing or adjustments of the bones or anything like that. It was so painless and easy. And it was just mind-blowing. I still don't understand it. But I don't care to really understand it that much now.
Right.
Well, I do, but I don't. But
yes.
Yeah, I'm just happy it helped.
Yes.
Yeah,
so what have you been able to get back to that you weren't able to do in the last 7 months?
Okay, the biggest thing that I noticed this injury took from me, well, it didn't really take from me, but has dimmed, is my physical side.
Okay.
So I've always been very physical my whole life, been very active, sports,
You said
outdooring,
fishing
doing everything, fishing, anything that a 19-year-old could do.
Yeah.
I was fearless.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been most excited to get back to. Obviously taking it easy, but I had my few reality checks and feeling good, and then you go do something, sets you back.
Right.
And now what I feel compared to where I was is just incredible.
Yeah.
You just don't have that constant, I don't know what's the best way to explain it.
It's almost debilitating.
It is, it's debilitating, but that thought's there and it's constantly dragging with you throughout the day. That's completely gone.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and what I feel compared to where I was is just a day and night difference.
So were you doing commercial fishing or?
I worked for the company. I built custom rods, worked in the warehouse, did a lot of graphic design
really
for them.
active.
Very active, yeah.
On
and
your
then
feet.
outside of that, doing everything I possibly could whenever I could.
Yeah, were you able to work then during this?
No,
So you were out of
it took
capacity.
Yeah, my physical side completely away.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now are you able to return back?
Yeah, with the way I'm feeling and what I've been doing, obviously gradually, taking it easy just so I don't go backwards. I mean, that's been my biggest fear. Obviously, you don't want to go backwards. But
right, it takes time for your body to relearn where it needs to be.
Absolutely, but and slowly returning to all that, and I couldn't be more excited. Yeah,
you feel like you'll have your life back.
Absolutely,
that's
absolutely.
Great. So, are you local here?
No, I live all the way in Squim. So
you come from Squim.
Yeah, it's like a 3.5 hour drive.
So that is worth it, though.
It is. Yeah, the whole recovery process, it's completely
especially
worth it.
With being almost a year in this kind of injury.
And 6 months and you get most of your life back. And for the whole procedure and how easy it actually is, it's not a hassle. Yeah. It's not. It's easy. It's very easy. The drive's nothing compared to what I feel.
That's awesome. Yeah. That is so awesome. Well, thank you for sharing your story.
No problem.
Appreciate it. If somebody were to look at NUCCA and Dr. Lipinski's office and think, you know, should I check this out? What would you tell them?
Just be open-minded. Yeah. And try it. Yeah. Yeah, don't be doubtful. Okay. Yeah. Just try it. Great. Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Leighton. Yeah, no problem.